In a time and place when you can lose weight from anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to.
And they're calling it...
Holy shit, we've lost 105 pounds.
The Gringas have lost a chubby 5th grader, and somehow they're still fat.
God damn, this is a long fucking journey.
These are the gory details of how they lost 105 pounds while traveling the world.
This is the Workationing Podcast. So should we let the people in on a secret?
Yes. Probably. Which one?
The one about how we record our episodes in real time, but then we wait to release them for safety reasons.
Yeah, I think some people have already called us on this one. A lot of it's just that clearly we talk a lot about our location, where we are, what's going on, and it's just like a little too specific at times.
But if you follow us on Facebook, you know where we are in real time-ish. I mean, you don't know exactly where we are. We could be right behind you right now. Boo. Boo. Okay, so we are skipping ahead a little bit. Spoiler alert, we are in Amsterdam, both of our favorite cities.
Yep, and we'll go back and let you know how we got there. But right now, we've been getting a lot of questions and emails about a particular topic, and we decided to talk about it, and that is our weight loss.
Let's talk about how fat we used to be and might still be, huh?
That's exciting. So here's the good news, is that it is in real life time. Today is September 14th. And Kari and I are down a combined 105 pounds.
That is a very chubby 5th grader.
That is just breathing hard.
Dreading physical fitness test day.
Picked last for kickball.
Oh, that poor kid. Oh, he has no muscle definition because it's all fat.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that we're still fat.
Sometimes they still have a double chin. But and by sometimes, I mean way too often. They've got an injectable for that, I hear. I might look into.
Yeah. But we're working on it. So anyways, people had a lot of questions about what we've been doing and what this looks like, particularly while traveling. Mm-hmm. I certainly had never engaged in any real level of fitness and dieting, and I certainly was not doing it on vacation.
No. Traditionally, I have a long track record of failed dieting attempts.
Me too.
Everyone you can think of. Atkins. Oh, I tried Atkins like a few times because you get to eat as much as you want, just nothing that you actually want to eat.
Right. You're like, I'm going to eat bacon for 4 days straight and then just go right back to the carbs. That diet worked out great.
I get so desperate. You're just like, God, I don't even like Cinnabon. But on the Atkins diet, you can't keep me away from those things.
Right. So I guess where we should start is actually by talking about where we started, because it's been quite a journey in the weight loss, but the gaining the weight is a journey of its own. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was never athletic by any stretch of the imagination, but I was a really active kid and I was very fit, did a lot of sports and martial arts and that sort of thing. I'm going to get weird with it for a minute and talk about the fact that, so when I was 13, I was raped, and I was also raped again when I was 21. Sucks. It's something I've talked about pretty openly in my life, and I have no problem talking about it. So I won't go into details though for this conversation, but that trauma, I think, started a lot of it for me, unsurprisingly. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a super uncommon story. And I think that I just kind of felt really outside of my body. And I remember also when the initial incident happened when I was 13, I remember getting really depressed, and I dropped out of soccer that year. I had played every year before, but it's just, after school, all I wanted to do was go home and go to sleep. And I think I was just really sad, And so that sort of, I think that's really where it started for me, was back then. And it was sort of just a steady progression of gaining weight my whole life after that. I stayed somewhat fit in high school because I was still doing more physical activity. But then I graduated. There were no more sports. There was just life.
College. And drinking.
Yeah.
Easy access to beer.
Yeah, exactly. All those Mike Hard lemonades. I thought it was such a good idea to slam.
God, I used to be on the Arbor Mist train. Can you imagine?
Right. Just, the things. I used to think an apple teeny was a very classy thing to order at a bar.
For a while, I drank only White Russians. Like, that was ever a good idea. Just have some cream and Kahlua. That's going to be healthy for you.
It's a booze shake. It's going to be great. So anyways, that was a long thing for me. And then eventually I began working at home, which is fantastic. But if you are someone who has ever worked from home, and it becomes more of a struggle to keep that weight off, because suddenly it's like you can really be like, oh, I took a whole 250 steps today if you don't make an effort to actually leave your house. Mm-hmm. So that's a real problem. And so when I started workationing back in January 1st, I weighed 325 pounds. I had never even breathed that weight out loud to anyone before, as though people did not know because I didn't say it. And I couldn't walk a mile without feeling like I was going to die. And I could tell that this trip of a lifetime was not going to last super long for me if I didn't change something.
It was a real struggle for you. So in Aguada, the first leg of workationing, Aguada, Puerto Rico, it was 0.6 miles to the beach from our place. And I remember the first time we walked it, I was really concerned about you. But we weren't exactly sure where it was. GPS can be kind of sketchy at times. And I knew at some point we were past the point of no return. It would be easier to get you to the beach than it would back home or anywhere else. And it was scary for a minute. And you got there, and it got easier every other trip after that. But it was a struggle for you.
Yeah, no, it was really, and that was hard for me. It was hard to realize that. It was scary to realize that. I knew it had gotten bad, but I didn't know how bad it had gotten. And to see that was, like I knew it was time for a serious change, because here I was, wanting to travel the world, and I could see that might not work out for me if I didn't fix something. And I really didn't want to give this up. So I think that was really the beginning of it for me. Do you want to talk about how you...
Oh, this won't be embarrassing at all.
It's great. You just put it out there. It's great. Listen. I have had the fortune of being able to divulge all of this to Women's Health already. That article will be coming out very soon. So.
And by article, Kelly means a full-blown 2,000-word feature in Women's Health magazine.
Yes. So look for that. So now it's your turn. Tell the people about how you got so fat. Damn it.
Oh, I hope this is inspirational to somebody.
So inspiring. You're so brave. Now do it.
So here's how I got fat. I started out in college at 123 pounds, where's that Post-it that has what we should be? Just to give everyone a little bit of context here. Because my healthy weight range is just scarily on the low end for me. All right, so I am 5 foot 4 inches tall. 5 feet 4 inches tall. I don't know what that is in centimeters for our international listeners. I've been Googling how many feet and inches centimeters are, so here's a little revenge. You get to run that math on Google yourself. 5'4". I started at 123. At 18, I'll say. Healthy for me is 110 to 140. Healthy for Kelly's taller than I am. Kelly is 5 feet 10 inches tall. And Kelly can weigh between 132 pounds and 167 pounds and be at a healthy body weight.
I was 132 pounds on one very skinny June day when I was in 8th grade, I think. So that can fuck right off. I didn't even have boobs yet. Come on.
Oh my God. Okay, so I moved across the country to go to college at 18 years old and a fresh 123. And then the freshman 15 can creep up on you. And I have always been an overachiever, so I just flew right on by that. And there were a few things that led to that. Number one of the first things that I did when I got to Pittsburgh for college was go meet up with the guy I was seeing who was going to Columbia in New York City and get set up with the sickest fake ID anybody had ever seen.
There you go.
And so I had access to all of the clubs and bars or whatever, and I used that access to get a bartending job. And I told you earlier about those White Russians. I had never had anything tastier before. It really was like a boozy milkshake.
They really are very delicious.
And so I would suck back about 7 of those a night, maybe, on a Friday.
Girl, that's so intense.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I got those redneck jeans where I can really slam back some alcohol. And I did a couple times in college. And then just a couple. Just
a
on
few.
my birthday, maybe on New Year's.
On the weekend.
I would have an entire carton of half and half with my White Russians. Oh, I used to also like vodka cranberries. Mm-hmm. Those are really gross too. Arbor Mist. Oh, the mudslides. We would have mudslides at our apartment frequently. Around this time, I also learned that I was an emotional eater. And my mom got sick and then she died. And I got really depressed for a long time.
Yeah, I put on a lot of weight. My dad died too.
I didn't really understand how bad it had gotten. I went from like a size 5'6" to a size 12, which was quite a bit of a weight increase. I never stepped on a scale, so I didn't know how bad it had gotten. It was something that I just kind of unconsciously avoided. And then I would go home. And my family would be like, well, Kari Lee, I can see you've been eating well. And I was just like, the campus food didn't help. We had an all-you-can-eat dessert bar at the women's college I went to. The dessert bar was way more edible than the rest of the crap they would throw at us. You can't eat the salad bar every single day.
Right.
Or maybe you can, and I just didn't.
Right.
So, long story short, I didn't weigh myself until I got engaged. That had been, I was like 25 at that point. I stepped on the scale and I was 180 pounds at 5'4", which was a lot. And so after that, I got serious about weight loss, made some changes, and I dropped 30 pounds. It got down to like 150, 145, somewhere around there, which looked okay, I thought. I felt like, I'd done it.
Right.
Then I got divorced. And I actually lost weight after my divorce. And I remember I stepped on a scale and I was at 139, which is 1 pound into the healthy weight range for me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I did it.
Like, well,
skinny now. I'm done.
Skinny AF.
I look so good, And then I got into a relationship and gained 10 pounds over 3 years.
I always gain weight in a relationship. So any guys out there who may be interested in locking this down. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, it's really easy when you get in a relationship to just be like, well, I've done it.
Well, and I knew that I was pretty chunky because I could not escape my double chin in basically any photos.
Yeah, this has been a really interesting process for me because only in the last couple of weeks have I started looking in the mirror and really seeing more of myself. Mm-hmm. Because I gained so much weight over the years that I think it's been years since I've looked myself, and I don't think I even realized what a toll that took. And also it just your perception just gets more and more warped because like the separation between what I looked like in pictures and in the mirror and what I looked like in my head just got so big that I feel like I couldn't even really see myself anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just really easy to play those games and to think it's not that bad and to, oh yeah, I've gained 20 pounds, but 20 pounds looks almost exactly the same.
Right. Oh, I carry it really well.
Right.
It's the lie I used to tell myself.
Oh yeah, just carry it well.
Nobody can tell how much I weigh.
Right.
I bet you they think I weigh 117.
Right. Right.
Nobody really thinks that. But now I weigh 129 pounds.
That's awesome.
So I am down a total of 23 pounds since we started.
That's awesome. So let's talk about how we got here. We have not completed this journey in any way. And we really are realizing this is, as they say, a lifestyle change and not something you just do for a minute overnight. You've got to keep going. So, but it started slowly. This has been it's been a fast process in a lot of ways, but it's also when you're living it day to day, it's just feels very slow.
You have lost weight as fast as a bariatric patient. So I think you're doing it about as fast as you could possibly go. We'll talk in a little bit about how it's different for me than it is for you in a lot of ways.
But we started with some small changes. They felt big at the time. They were huge at the time. So we started walking a lot more and we tried to get in 10,000 steps a day. Now, Kari could do stuff I couldn't do. Kari was getting over 10,000 steps a day. I would get 10,000 steps maybe once a week, and then I would be like crippled the next day.
Right.
So like that was really, really hard for me.
Right outside of our place in Aguada, we were very fortunate to have a walking track that also had a free outdoor gym.
Yeah, that was great.
And there were stadium seats that people just stayed squat jumping on. And there were a lot of people there every night working on their fitness.
Yeah, entire families, people of all ages. That's something we're going to talk about in a little bit, but traveling the world has been a real eye-opener in just how sedentary the American lifestyle is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really normal for people to be working on their fitness after dinner. So we did that. We started eating a lot cleaner.
I am the queen of cracking a dippy egg over some sort of vegetable mixed with a few pieces of bacon.
Yeah, we've been eating a lot of stuff like that. So we switched to a lot of lean meats and veggies. As Kari said, I really actually have been losing weight at about the rate of a bariatric patient. And I would like to say that I am doing this while still eating crap sometimes.
We do have nacho days.
We do. And I don't do cheat days, but I do the occasional cheat meal.
Mm-hmm.
And I still drink from time to time. Like, all of this is possible. You just have to stick to it like 95% of the time.
Right. I was going to say margaritas have been a part of this journey for us.
They have. I love a good margarita. And when the moment is right and I'm on a beach, I'm drinking one. It's happening. So what else did we do? We've cut way back on alcohol. I think we're realizing how much the culture in the U.S., it just really emphasizes binge drinking,
right,
which a lot of people don't even think of as binge drinking.
Right. Ladies, are you having more than 3 drinks in a sitting? Or even 3 drinks in a sitting?
Yeah, that's a binge, even if you don't even necessarily get drunk.
Right. You are riding the train to binge town, lady.
Right. So we've really cut back and started drinking in a much different way. We still drink, but we drink in a much different way than we used to before. Another thing that I think was really helpful was that at the beginning, we didn't use a scale. And now this can be really tricky because you have to have accountability. But I know for me, the changes are so slow at the beginning. I was at 325 pounds when we left, and that was like 25 pounds than like the most I had ever allowed myself to weigh. I just hadn't weighed myself in a while. So then for those first 25 pounds was just me getting back to a weight that I already felt like was unacceptable. And so it happened slowly at first, and I know that if I had been measuring on the scale every day, little minor setbacks would have really fucked with me, and it would have been hard for me to keep going. So it was actually really helpful for me to not have a scale and to just concentrate entirely on how I was feeling and what I was putting into my body and how much exercise I was doing.
The process.
Yeah. And just focus on that, because I was able to, I might not have been losing weight every day, or there might have been setbacks, but I was feeling better every day. So that was really helpful. But you have to have accountability from somewhere, though, I would say. So if you're not going to have the scale, you need to
double down on the accountability. So we had a series of Post-its that just outlined how many days a week we were going to work out. And by workout, that could be anything back then.
Right. Anything.
You know, it was really anything.
Because anything was better than what we had been doing. Just all of the nothing.
Did you get some physical activity? Okay, that counts.
Right.
You know, and toward the end, I really started busting out a lot of squat jumps because those Puerto Rican asses I was jealous of.
Right.
I wanted one.
And
we still don't have that, by the way, but I'm working on it.
Working on it. So we just kept improving a little bit more over time. In March, we added in some yoga.
Mm-hmm.
By May, I was more than able to do 10,000 steps a day.
And we did it every single day.
And actually now, I just did my first 5K the other day, and just the first try, which was crazy, thinking about how I couldn't even go a mile.
Mm-hmm. And now you're just busting out a 5K for fun at the gym.
Yeah. It's really, really crazy to see. So it starts really slowly. And I really want to emphasize that to people. And it's so, in the slowest part at the beginning, where the changes are the smallest and the results are the smallest, it also feels the hardest. Because that felt so much harder back then. Then now it's to the point where I'm going to the gym basically every day, and I get 10,000 steps most days on top of that.
Right.
And, you know, but this feels easy.
And there are victories along the way. So, for example, the 5K you just mentioned, I was on the elliptical next to you when you did it, and it was awesome. You were proud of yourself. I was proud of you. You texted your brother and mom, and
because
they were super geeked. You beat your mom's time. I
did.
Kari, got to step up your game.
Yeah, speed it up on delay. But and that changes how you feel about yourself. So the changes at the beginning feel really, really slow. So if that's where you are and you're starting out, just be really gentle with yourself and just keep coming back to the process every day, because it does get easier. I just remember thinking even back then, well, I'm not going to lose all this weight by just walking a couple miles a day. That's not going to do it.
Right.
And just doing that felt so impossible. And thinking about all the more stuff that I would have to do to get there just felt really, really daunting. But you just have to have faith that when you get there, you're going to be ready for it and just keep going. And
it's really exciting when you've been working the process for a while and all of a sudden your pants are looking a little Bilbo Baggins.
Right. It's great. And it changes the way you feel about yourself. I have lost weight before. The most I'd ever lost in a stretch was 40 pounds. Mm-hmm. And now I'm down 82. So I've more than doubled that. And I have a long way to go still. This is a journey that's going to be going on for me for quite a while. But I have nothing but confidence that I'll be able to do it. I've just demonstrated to myself again and again that I'm going to show up for this, mm-hmm. And that changes everything about the way you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. And I feel like a fundamentally different person for having gone through this process in a really positive way.
Well, and it does get easier as it becomes habit too. These choices stop becoming choices and they start becoming things that you just do.
Right. Yeah, the lifestyle thing has been pretty critical, and Kari and I have been talking about that a lot because we have had some real surprises in this process. I knew that I had gained some weight, more than a little bit of weight. You knew that you were carrying a little extra.
Yeah, I floated around. I gave myself about a 10-pound fluctuation. And I was on the high end of that, I'd say.
And we really just didn't, I don't think we saw how bad it was. We really didn't get it. And that's because a big surprise that we've had on this trip is just that, and this is not going to be fun to hear. It's not fun to experience, but Americans, we hear the fat American thing and how Americans are a real obesity epidemic, but we really just have no fucking idea how fat we are.
No, you travel around the world and it doesn't matter what continent you're on. It doesn't matter if you're in America's hat. Up in Canada, people aren't fat the way they are in the U.S.
Right.
Not in Mexico. Certainly not in Colombia. Definitely not in Colombia.
No, and now that we're over in Europe, it's just a whole different ballgame. And it makes me see everything differently because most in Europe, just the vast majority of people are very fit and have just a normal BMI.
Right. And they don't even think about it.
No. And so we really stand out here. And we've stood out everywhere we've gone.
We don't really blend in.
No, and it's startling and it makes me see everything differently. And I think when your normal is so different, mm-hmm. In Europe, I'm the fattest person I'll see for days sometimes. Mm-hmm. In the US, I'd walk outside the door and there was somebody fatter. You know what I mean? And it really changes your perception of what's healthy.
Right. Because you see yourself in relation to the other people around you. And when the other people around you have hot bods just as the baseline norm.
Right.
And it's because they care about themselves. It's because they bike places instead of driving places, or they walk there, or they stay at the gym or doing some sort of at-home workout routine. I don't see, but I see the results of it.
Right. Well, that's the thing, is that something Kari and I have talked about a lot recently is that it's not just how fat Americans are. It's that how depressed we are as an entire culture.
Right, because why are you fat?
Right. There's what is considered just really normal behavior among people in the US, functioning professional people isolating themselves. Mm-hmm. People working way, way too hard, not keeping up with their relationships, staying in your house all the time, not going out and engaging in physical fitness,
driving everywhere, just no excuse to walk anywhere.
Right, giving up all your hobbies, not eating a bunch of garbage, not tending to your physical care, just wearing your pajamas out in public. These are things that are just very normal behavior among the vast majority of Americans. And that is not how people live in the rest of the world. That if you were doing that here, people would be worried for you. Girl, there's a hotline for this. Do you need some help?
Can we get a wellness check on America?
Right. But it's what's going on?
People don't wear yoga pants out here.
No.
Unless they're at the gym. And then they change into those yoga pants at the gym and out of them at the gym and into their street clothes or work clothes.
Yeah, people aren't just showering. People are taking multiple showers a day here. It's wild.
I wonder how many hours of TV per day the Dutch watch. I don't get the impression that people are watching very much. No, I don't see them as a particularly lazy people, but just binge watching for days of TV. Video games are a real problem for some people. I never fell into that particular trap.
No.
Video games and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, pass. But something that we talk about too is that like we talk about things that people say in the US that they don't even say here.
Like I can't even, or adulting.
Yeah, people talking about adulting, like they did the dishes today, they're adulting.
No
one does that because people just actually are adults here.
Yeah, that's just being functional.
Yeah, that's just you handle your shit. It's fine. That's like the baseline of what you should be able to achieve in a day.
Not even.
Right.
Like, can you clean up after yourself?
So people talk about adulting and how I can't even. We're like, they can even here.
They wake up and they even before 7 a.m.
Right. They've already evened. It's done. And they didn't stress out about it. They didn't hit their snooze button 45 times before they got out of bed to even.
No.
It's like that alarm went off and they sat on the edge of the bed for a minute and stretched and then they stood up and they evened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they weren't a bitch about it. They just did it.
No. And then they're going to go to the gym.
Right.
And then they're going to finish their day. And they're not going to work more than 8 hours per day here, I don't think.
Right. And they're going to go out with their friends and they're going to have like 3 beers. And those beers are going to be 8 ounces each.
Right.
It's a completely different lifestyle. And it blows my mind to see how unhealthy things are in the US and that it's so normalized that you don't even see it as unhealthy.
Mm-mm. Like look in your freezer right now. What's
right.
in there? Because out here there's nothing. There's some ice. People go out and they get fresh food every day and then they cook it.
Yeah, you walk to the market and you get fresh food and you take it home
and then you cook it.
It's wild.
I've never seen anything like it before. When I was in Montreal and all these people kept going to the market for their fresh meats and cheeses and produce, and it was just an everyday thing, and we made it an everyday thing for us. That was a 1.5 mile round trip to the market and back.
Right.
And we did it every day. We became those people, and it was good. We benefited from it. It increased the quality of our life. The food we were eating was fresher. It was better. It wasn't like what's about to mold in the refrigerator that I don't really want to eat. It's like, what do I feel like today? Let me buy that.
Right. And it's so funny how weird it looks to me and how judgy I am of it and how suspicious I am of it, of the whole culture. And we came here and I was just like, these people creep me out. What is it about them? It just feels like some kind of Stepford town, you know? Like, and I'm just like, and what I realized is that this is just an entire city of just functioning adults.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it looks like when not everyone is crippled by anxiety and depression and is just living their life.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of self-loathing going on out here.
No, people just respect themselves, respect their bodies, respect their environment, respect each other. What? Fucking weirdos.
Not where I come from.
Dutch freaks.
You know? Those are blonde little children of the corn babies.
Like, get out of here. Like, be gone. Rebuke thee. So that has been a big surprise. I think we wanted to wrap up by talking quickly about how to be a good weight loss partner, because I really could not have done this without you.
I don't think I could have done it without you either. This has been made easier than it's ever been for me in the past. Not that it's ever, I have not had a lot of successes in the weight loss arena before this.
Me neither.
10 maybe. And then I done it. I did it.
Right.
Finished.
So it's been great because, number one, I know that I'm in this with Kari and that we both have goals. And so on the days that I would let myself down, I won't let Kari down.
Right. Because we have a target goal for you of 100 pounds by the end of the year. And sister, I think we can do it.
Oh, it's coming. We're going to do it. It's going to be great. But it takes a lot of time, and it really helps because everybody has days when they want to slip. And you know what? Some days we both slip on the same day, and whoops-a-daisy, there's some nachos, and these things happen.
We just face plant into some nachos.
Right. But most of the time we pull each other back from the ledge and are like, nah, girl, come eat this salad. You're going to love it.
It's great. Tastes just like nachos when you shut your eyes.
Yeah. So there's been that. Well, and the joking around, just having somebody to like laugh with.
Right, because it's going to suck. You have to embrace the suck, as our friend Tatiana said, because ladies, and probably a lot of the guys listening too, who hasn't gone through the weight loss struggle journey and just like, on a diet today, hangry as fuck,
right?
Just not loving life. You have to embrace the suck because it's going to exist. And are you going to let that ruin your day? Are you going to let that negatively impact the way you treat the people around you? Are you going to let yourself become a raging bitch, or are you going to embrace the suck, recognize that it's part of the process, and laugh your way through it?
Right. Definitely. And the laughing helps, because here's the other thing is that something that we've found, and actually our trainer, I can't wait to talk about him more in a future episode.
This is going to be great. We've got some great content coming up.
He's so good. I hope we can actually get him on the podcast. But his name is Yos, and he does what we do, which is why he's our trainer soulmate, which is that he always puts things up like a positive spin on everything. Mm-hmm. So, and that can be hard to do, especially at the beginning when you're really struggling. And so, but we do a fake it till we make it. We don't say, God, I don't want to go on this run. We're like, oh, can't wait to treat myself.
I am looking forward to this. I might even take a bonus lap. Right. Treat myself.
Right. And there's something about saying it, even if you don't mean it. And then if you can laugh about it, I feel like that's been so critical, because you literally have to rewire your brain. And so you can't tell yourself, I don't want to do this. Even if you don't want to, you say you want to. And it can be a joke. It doesn't matter. But it matters. It matters that you say the positive thing. It really actually does.
It does. And we have just embraced that positivity. And we take it to whole new levels.
We do.
Joost likes to say, I guess there's a Dutch saying that not only would you not miss it for the world, you wouldn't miss it for gold.
Uh-huh.
And so when we're busting out that extra set of reps, it's like, I would not miss that extra weight that you're about to put on this bar for gold. Joost,
no.
You put that weight on, I'm going to lift it up a few more times.
You can't pay me to not lift this up.
Sometimes you say, but Joost, I think I'd rather have the gold. You do it anyway.
I do sometimes. Joost really pushes me there sometimes.
Like, Joost, I'll take the gold. Yeah. Stop.
But so being positive and laughing together is super, super important. I think being honest is really important, because I know for me, it's so easy. And I notice when I put stuff online about my weight loss and that sort of thing, that some people really feel the need to reassure me, like, oh, you were beautiful before, or you were, and that's great and all. And
you look great now.
Right. And
you can just stop.
Right. And I appreciate the sentiment, and I appreciate people loving me and wanting me to not feel bad and that sort of thing. But that doesn't really help me. I was in denial about where I was for a really, really long time. And I got to a place where I was really, really sick and unhealthy. And I need that accountability from people in my life so that I need to keep track of that in my head. I need the severity of it to be clear to me. And what I don't need is people to like attack me or anything like that. But what's been really great for me is that I've been able to be honest with you about it, and we talk about it and you listen to me, but you're never like, oh, it's okay, or like, don't worry about it, or like, you're just like, well, we can keep going. We're changing it. You're doing great. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different framing of that. And for me, it's been really important.
I get the same sense of accountability and honesty from you. And what I find really interesting about this process for both of us is how different it's been. So at my weight right now at 129, I get not very many calories if I'm still going to lose some weight. And turns out at 5'4" and 129 pounds, I'm still a little chunky.
Right.
For real. And people tell me that.
Yeah, you deal with that a lot more. I get a lot of people telling me that I've always been beautiful, that it doesn't matter what I weigh, or people just outright saying, like, you're so beautiful right now, you shouldn't change. And I think some of that's genuine from the guys that I date who are just more attracted to this particular body type. Mm-hmm. But I also think a lot of it's people kind of like reassuring themselves. I think for me, the fact that I need to lose weight, I've really gotten to a place where I like really, really love myself and respect myself. And I need to lose weight, and I want to lose weight for my health and for my lifestyle and that sort of thing. And so like, I don't really feel the fact that I need to lose weight is like this big, like negative thing that's weighing on me. And so when I hear from other people that like me losing weight, like when they need to reassure me in that way, sometimes I feel like maybe they're trying to reassure themselves in that way, you know? I'm all about body positivity and, you know, feeling good about yourself and all of that. And everyone needs to make that decision for themselves, but you have to get good with you. Also, if you're going to be an accountability partner for somebody, you need to get good with you. Because here's the other thing is it would be really easy for me with as much weight as I have left to lose to be like, oh, you're fine. You're skinny, girl. You're there. I don't even know if I can get down as skinny as you are right now.
Right.
But like for me to really help you accomplish your goals, when I'm talking to you about your journey, it's not about me.
Right.
It's about you and where you are. And I think that we're both able to do that for each other.
Right. In a way that neither of us ever gets offended by.
Never.
You have never hurt my feelings about the weight loss stuff.
No, you've never hurt mine either. I've always been just like really grateful for your friendship and the fact that like I can be candid with you and I never feel judged by you. And I never feel like, I don't feel like my weight matters to you outside of the fact that you want me to thrive and be happy and healthy and well.
Right.
Because listen, you were my girl when I was 325 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right. I loved you in your bonnet.
Thanks, lady. So yeah, I think you have to really get out of your own head. You have to get really honest. You have to not be afraid because you have to get kind of intimate with somebody to really have this kind of like an accountability partnership around weight loss. You can't be afraid of each other, tiptoeing around each other.
No. It's supporting each other through the successes too, because it's hard sometimes to get your ass down to that gym, especially in the morning, or to make the right food choices. And it can be great to just kind of have an eye on each other and push ourselves toward those goals. I know what your goals are, Kelly. So I am fully in support of them, and I want my behavior to do nothing but encourage you to help achieve those goals. And I get the same sense from you.
Yeah.
And it's been a really positive friendship for me.
Me too. And it's been really good because, like, for instance, we have had months when we've been like really killing it, and we've had times where we haven't so much. It's been really a good thing for us to see, I think, which kinds of lifestyles and locations make it easier for us to make healthier choices, because ultimately I think those are the places we're going to choose to be. Mm-hmm. But we have struggled a little bit in places, and like in Amsterdam, we love Amsterdam. It's great here. And for the first few weeks that we were here, we were just having a good time. And we were going out because there's tons of places to go out because we had
to try all of the fries and mayonnaise.
Right.
Let's just be real about it.
Fries and mayonnaise is so good. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing with this trash ass ketchup, but you need to get the mayo out because that's where it's at.
I feel like it's been a journey toward this in particular. We started in Aguada with the mayo ketchup, and we were like, oh, this is a delightful sauce. No, fuck the ketchup. Just go straight mayo.
Just put it right directly
freshly
on the fry.
made, not Hellman's. It's got to be something.
Mm-hmm. They've got some good shit out here.
Yeah,
trust me. Oh, God damn. Listen,
we had to pump the brakes on that and then get a trainer after.
We did. So we didn't lose any weight for a month, and that was a big wake up call. But what was really encouraging to me about that is that, like, we sat down, we had a really honest conversation about it, and we went and joined a gym and got a trainer that day.
After that conversation, we were like, well, we can keep talking about it, or we can just go to this gym and then look at the personal training options. And we did it that day. Joined the gym, got the personal trainer, scheduled the appointments, and it was done. Right.
Because listen, people around here, I see them walking around looking fine as hell, and they all eat fries with mayo and drink beer. I see it.
They do. They all do.
I can literally see it happening from my window. So I know that there's a way. You know,
we're just trying to weasel our way into hot bods with fries and mayo and beer. Is that too much to ask?
I think you just have to live at the gym.
Girl, I think we can have it all. You just got to see Yost a few times a week.
You can just eat one day a week. No, we're working on it. But no, it has been interesting because this has been a huge journey for me. I've got more to go. I've never been good at taking care of my body. I've never done it in a conscious way. I've never watched what I ate consistently, like as a lifestyle and not just as a temporary stopgap, you know? And so I'm learning, and I feel like you're learning. We're going to talk about this a lot more, I think, because we're not done yet.
We're not. No, but we've been getting so many emails and Facebook messages from people wanting to know how we did it, what the process was like. And so please excuse this out of order episode. We just wanted to kind of put this out there so we could point to it, and hopefully you guys are finding some value here.
Right. Actually, you know what? I would love to hear from people. If anyone's interested, it could be really fun. I've seen people do this before. But if you would like us to start a workationing weight loss Facebook group, where where you can talk about what you're working on and that sort of thing. And you can find that support. If you're having trouble finding that accountability partner at home, maybe we can all be that accountability partner for each other a little bit.
Yeah, we've already said our numbers.
Yeah. So if people are interested, just let us know, because I would love to find a way to be more involved in that. I love seeing people working out, seeing their progress and talking about the struggle, because God, it's a struggle.
It is a struggle. Oh, we can talk about how much we love it. Just, I love broccoli.
Yes.
Nature's nachos.
So I was just spitballing that. But if you guys are interested, maybe we could do something like that, because it seems like something people are really interested in. And it's what we spend a lot of our time on these days. So
just on that workout, weight loss grind.
Yeah. But high five, girl, because I am really proud of us. 105 pounds.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but we didn't need it. It was holding us back.
It was. I feel better without it.
I do. I'm just zipping around. Very aerodynamic these days.
I plank for fun still. Just elevated mountain climbers. Yost taught me how to do that. Best lesson of my life.
So fun. Wouldn't miss it for gold.
Right up there with the time I learned how to read. You know?
Right.
Are we done?
I think we did it.
Okay.
Bye. This has been another episode of the Workationing Podcast. If you like what you've heard here, please consider donating at patreon.com/workationing. That's patreon.com. All proceeds will go towards funding our bucket list items.
To keep up with us in real time, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Workationing. Or on our website at, you guessed it, workationing.com. That's workationing.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Okay. Hang on 1 second. I know you've already gone through it.
Just do it.
You know what I mean? You've already gone through it. I haven't gone through it yet.
Come on, you gotta get some skin in the game. Some fat skin.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. You don't have to go like deep into it. Just.
I'm gonna tell people how fat I was, and they're gonna be like, "You were that fat," or maybe they already know.
Girl, people have Facebook. Everyone knows.
I don't put the fat photos on Facebook.
Well, I always automatically just add 20 pounds to somebody's fattest Facebook photo. Because you know there's a fatter one they didn't post.
Okay. All right.